Hey guys, it's Mana here, and we're back with Lucid9. I decided that if I don't finish it in this episode, I think the next time I sit down to record it, I'm just going to record it all in one fell swoop. If I have the time, I either will or I won't. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I know this is probably one of the least viewed things I've posted, which kind of sucks because I really enjoy it. And although partly that's because I was gone on and off for such long periods at a time, so that is kind of my fault. So we're gonna pick up where we left off with Yama doing something incredibly stupid. Don't know what yet, but I'm sure it's stupid. And either we'll wrap it up in this episode, or if I have the time, I'll just finish it all at once. So, yay! If the doctors can be trusted, all I need is a strong trigger, something that can give my brain a nice kick. Like a bloodied corpse. Right. Easy. I raise my phone, hands shaking. Nausea turns in my stomach as I bring up my browser search engine, switching the mode to images. I can do this. For Ruri, for Masato, Yahiko, Mr. Ryuta, Shigure, for the people who have died. For Mizu. I tap the screen flat with finality. Gruesome scenery floods my pupils, pulsing into my brain like black oil. It wraps around me, struggling my breath out of my lungs, laughing softly in my ears. Too late. I struggle against it, but the empty eyes, the wash of organs and veins, it sends my head reeling. I vaguely feel myself turn over, retching. A lapse pushes at me, but I push back, reaching into the furthest depths of my mind. Remember, remember, remember. You can do it. A clear, high voice pierces through the haziness of my mind. What? I know you can do it. I'm dumped into the yard of some primary school where there's grass and trees and no towering monoliths of skyscrapers. It's most definitely a suburb. I'm sitting on a swing, and a tiny girl with legs that don't even reach the ground is on the swing next to me. She's a brave one. With every extension of her legs, she pushes higher and higher until she's almost horizontal with the bars. Then I realize that I'm also tiny, and my own legs don't reach the ground. Ah, this day. I remember it well. I remember it to the point of painstaking detail. I remember how the sun fell on my face, how the flowers sang in the wind, how the delighted shrieks of children were a soundtrack that played endlessly in the background. I remember despising it all, because no one should have been happy. Not when I had to move. Not when adults kept saying things I didn't understand. Not when Mizu was gone. So, when they come, just tell them, okay? The girl's cheery voice broke me out of my thoughts. I was barely swaying back and forth on the swing, a comical juxtaposition to her vivid enthusiasm. Okay. It was not okay. I was not okay, and I would not just tell them. But as a child, I had very quickly learned that saying okay was the easiest thing to do. Saying okay made people happy. Saying okay made people leave you alone. But this girl was an exception. As she swung down, she suddenly ground her heels into the bark mulch beneath her feet, which sprayed at me. I promptly leapt to my feet, yelping in indignation. Hey! The girl jumped from her swing, landing in front of me. When she stood up, her hair seemed to glow like fire in the sunlight. Promise? I flicked bits of bark off my elementary school uniform, nodding dully. Okay. Pinky promise. She stuck out a hand. I shoved mine in my pockets. Okay. You aren't pinky promising. Cross my heart. Hope to die? I didn't speak because I suddenly felt funny. The girl's eyes widened. Oh, maybe you shouldn't hope to die. Your sister's already dead. Not the best thing to say to somebody. She said this solemnly, and as a 7-year-old, I had absolutely no concept of political correctness, so I only shrugged. Blah. Yeah. It's okay. There's lots of trampolines in heaven. Trampolines and flowers. Okay. And the girl, through with saying her piece, leapt back onto her swing and continued her crazy quest to the top. I only made shapes in the bark mulch with the tip of my shoe. Suddenly, the girl hunched her knees to her chest and pointed frantically in the distance. Hey! Hey, they're coming! Hey! Hey, listen! I shrank against the swing. I didn't need to look where she was pointing. I already knew what lay in that direction. Come on, Yama, get up! No. You promised. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. You just promised. No, I... Clicked. Hey, you poohead. I stiffened and glanced meekly at the newcomers, 4 older children, bigger in every dimension, with glittering eyes and smiles that were far too cheery for this time of day, or any time of day, for that matter. You're stupid, poophead. Yeah, why don't you play like us? He doesn't even talk with anyone. Just stares at us with those freaky freak eyes. Like he's a freaky freak name. Yama, what a stupid poophead name. He's a mountain. The crazy girl slammed her shoes into the ground again, spraying mulch at them. They didn't even flinch, instead they grinned widely. Ooh, he's with a girl. Having fun with your little girlfriend, freaky freak? Ooh. I only hunched my shoulders and took the abuse. The girl, on the other hand, curled her fingers into fists, crouching aggressively. He's not my boyfriend. We don't kiss yet. Yama and Rui sitting in a tree. Kissing. I bet he got cooties from her. I don't have cooties. Ew, don't get too close, guys. You might get some. Run away. As the girl Rui lunged after them, the 4 split and ran circles around her, laughing raucously. Hey guys, I came up with a song. Yama needs his mama. Freaky freak, just like a, llama. Yeah, what's a llama? Doesn't matter. Yama needs his mama. Freaky freak, just like a llama. Needs a girl to fight. 'Cause he, has no might. They slapped their hands together, laughing cruelly, as I fought to keep the sting out of my eyes and throat. Okay. I said this placidly. Saying okay would make them happy. Saying okay would make them leave me alone. But just as they were about to lose interest, Rui socked one of them straight in the face with her fist, rage twisting her cherubic features. Her target collapsed to the ground, sniveling, but the rest only laughed. You hit like a girl. Is that the best you can do? Freaky freak and his freaky girlfriend? I'm not his girlfriend. What on earth is going on here? The teacher jogged over to the scene, followed by a crowd of twittering students. Rui's eyes lit up, thinking help was coming. I only continued to stare at my shoes. I knew what would happen. Teacher, these 4 bullies are... Teacher, Yama hit me. Wasn't even Yama. Look at him, teacher. I think he's going to die. Yama's not being nice. You said we should be nice, right? At the flip of the switch, the bullies had transformed into a pile of sniveling, clueless victims to the odious freaky freak. The teacher examined the scene before her, pursing her lips. The crowd awaited her judgment. Even at 7 years old, I already knew what it would be. Yama, I understand all the bad feelings you must be dealing with, but you can't hit people, okay? Infuriated, Rui jumped in front of me, yelling at the top of her lungs. They're lying, teacher! I hit him! The teacher smiled tenderly at her. Rui, I know that you're very nice, and you want to protect Yama, but he needs to take responsibility for his own mistakes. Yama, come with me. We need to see the principal. Okay. I silently got to my feet and passed through the crowd to her side, still staring at my shoes. I could hear the bullies snickering in the background. but Rui grabbed at my sleeve, whispering softly but intensely. You know what? I'm going to ask Mommy and Daddy. I'm going to ask them how to get back at those poop heads. They'll be sorry. Just you wait. She released me. The teacher led me away, a proper criminal to the execution block. I tried to forget the encounter, to strangle the hope that was rapidly rising in me. Sooner or later, she would get tired of me. Sooner or later, she would decide to leave. Sooner or later, she would just be another face in the crowd, calling me Freaky Freak. She never did. She moved cities and started attending the academy. I followed her out, all the while expecting that one day she'd realize that she didn't have to be with a freak, and she could have any friend she wanted. There it goes. And on that day, I would have moved to Isamu for nothing. But that day never came. I awake blearily to a hammering, dull sound, almost like someone pounding at my door. Open up, Yama Ishimoto! I know you're in there! Come and get the door, you bloody prat! I allow myself a moment to take in my surroundings. It's like it's already nighttime. How long have I been out? Don't make me break this down! Every attack on the door drives further into my headache, making me wince. What is Elizabeth even doing at my apartment at this hour? Just quiet down for a second, okay? The pounding stops. Finally. Turning on the lamp, I glance around. At some point, I'd thrown my jacket on the ground. Thankfully, there's no vomit or other bodily discharge to be seen or smelled. Did I fall unconscious? Did nothing else happen? I'm waiting! 5 minutes, Your Majesty. I struggle to my feet and head to the door. A sudden dizzy spell knocks me over. I barely catch myself on the kitchen counter in time, but as a result, my hand slips on a cup, sending it crashing to the ground. I wince as the harsh sound scrapes against my eardrums. Porcelain rockets to every corner of the room, skittering across the tile. Good God, what is going on in there? Dots spin in front of my vision as I struggle to the doorway. Something cuts into my foot. I roughly shake it out. I finally manage to open the door. Elizabeth's dour glare promptly melts into shock. Yama. Happy. I stoop and pick up the porcelain, but my foot twinges with pain. Wincing, I crouch to the ground and examine my heel. Why are you bleeding? I point wordlessly to the shards of the cup. Elizabeth sighs, gingerly plucking them from the corners and dumping them into the trash. You seem to be getting into these scrapes quite often. Hey, it's not every day I break a cup. She ponders this silently. It's only then when I actually clock the time. What are you even doing here? No, actually, how did you know where I live? She flicks the last of the shards into the trash can, then turns to me, hands on her hips. Is that really what matters right now? Look, first we need to take care of your foot. Where's your first aid kit? Might as well. Wordlessly, I point to the medical cabinet in the kitchen. Medicinal. Bottom shelf, next to the stove. She crisply strides to the cabinet, pulling a pipe of antibacterial ointment and a gauze wrap. Foot. I can bandage it myself. I can do it better. Are you seriously turning this into a competition? That wasn't what I... Just stick out your leg. I don't have the will to argue with her. I silently extend my foot. She wets the towel and dabs it against my heel. You're lucky that this was a shallow cut. There's not even any glass in it. Sure. She expertly slicks the ointment and then binds the injury with the wrap, as if she's done so 1,000 times. The fluidity of her motions are almost hypnotizing. As she finishes, well done, grammar, she suddenly speaks, her voice unusually soft. Why were you at the train station yesterday? I freeze at her words, withdrawing my foot and taking a step back. Train station. Did she see me with Rui? Is this about Soji's death? I decide to stick with a cautious answer. Whoops, I clicked off screen. Rui was planning on commuting from home, so she had to take her stuff to the train station. I was just... That's not what I meant, Yama. And you know it. Why were you at the scene where an academy student died? My mouth runs dry. I work to speak past the ache in my throat. What? Soji Hasegawa. He died at the train station, and you were there. How did you know that? Would you just tell me? Why were you there at the exact moment? Pressure from her words bears down on me heavily. I make my way over to the couch and take a seat. Were you there too? Yama, just answer. How did you know? Why are you always so insufferable? I might not be your best friend, but don't you trust me? Just one whit? My exhaustion, my nausea, my dizziness, it culminates into a lump of long-ridden resentment. Insufferable. I'm the one who's insufferable. I was just a normal student in a normal class. I didn't cause trouble. I didn't bother anyone. Who bothered whom first? Who insulted whom first? Who was the person who pretended to be my friend? I wasn't pretending. I was trying to help you. Oh yeah, you were an angel, nagging and criticizing and micromanaging me. You should have just done my homework for me. Let me ask you, did I ever ask for your help? Did I ever ask you to tell me that I was trash at everything? Look, I'll admit that I made some mistakes, but I was trying to help you. Well, I thought so too, until that project. Don't tell me that I'm insufferable. You're the one who started it. Elizabeth bristles visibly and grabs my shoulders. Her breath is hot against my face. A current of lavender and vanilla brushes against my cheek. What did you expect? Did you think I would baby you around? You dumped that project. You left me to do everything. You don't know how many all-nighters I had to pull just to get that bloody poster done in time. That poster isn't even what? Worth anything? It's worth a grade, Yama, and grades are money. More than that, it was the City Link project that was worth 50% of our grade. I blink in surprise at this fact. Honestly, I never checked the syllabus. The fact that one project would be worth so much is alien to me. Elizabeth quiets and releases my shoulder, sitting down on the opposite end of the couch and folding her hands in her lap. To you, coming to this school is just pocket change. Not exactly. My parents aren't billionaires or anything. Maybe, but you can slack and you'll come back another semester. You can scrape by at the bare minimum and stay assured that you'll remain a student. But I need to work for it, so that I'm not a burden on my father. He's already so busy with work, the house, and with me. Education is just out of the question. Should never be the case. Education should always be affordable. She seems to shrink inwardly, looking oddly defeated. I try to work past my shock and phrase my next question delicately. Your mom, doesn't send help? She's dead. Oh. Yeah, makes it a bit difficult. Just a little. She recovers and stares me in the eye. You already know that I'm a part-timer at the cafe, even while I keep up the illusion of being rich to others. But the absolute best thing I can contribute is maintaining an academic scholarship at the academy. My cynical side can't help but laugh. Scholarship? Who would work so hard to come to a school like the academy? But at the same time, if I'm fair, I know that it's one of the best high schools around. Shows you just how much quality of education has deteriorated since the Depression. To you, Yama, it may seem like I only cared about my grade. And yes, I was controlling, and I wanted to control every aspect of the project. But it wasn't just for a nice letter on a card. It was to keep my scholarship. If I had let things fly, I would have lost it. What? With you dropping the other end, the most I could have gotten in that course was 50 points. If that's worth half my grade, well, there goes the scholarship. I absorbed this quietly. Truthfully, I don't even know how to respond. I didn't know. I'm aware of that now. My grades are my livelihood. So is how I uphold myself about my peers, my extracurricular activities, my everything, really. A full scholarship to a school like this is nothing to sneeze at. But you're basically a slave to the school. Well, I won't deny it felt that way. A lot. But it doesn't matter. As long as I can win it back. She trails off, her eyes drifting to the distance. I nudge her. Win what? Oh, nothing. Yeah, that sure looks like nothing. Well, it's not important at the moment. What I want to know is why you were such an insufferable arse on that project. Loath as I am to admit it, you weren't completely awful until it started. Her subtle insults almost seem to hold a teasing edge. It prompts me to reply honestly. Well, your nagging was irritating, and your opinions were bad. But honestly, didn't care that much until this one day where you mentioned my sister. Sister? She seems genuinely aghast at this nugget of information. You don't remember? I didn't even know you had a sister. Oh, interesting. At the time, I thought it was a deep insult. Oh, and your sister thought so too? Well, she's dead. Oh. Bit hard. Just a bit. I'm sorry, then. I didn't know. Was that why you dropped the project? Something like that. Well, it makes sense. Mona's silence falls between us as we work to process these revelations. Honestly, it feels pretty alien to share civil conversation with Elizabeth. Up until just a week ago, we'd been at each other's throats on a nearly daily basis. This is really like Pride and Prejudice, isn't it? What? Well, I've gone so long misunderstanding you. Well, so have I. I guess both of us are Mr. Darcy. And Elizabeth Bennet. I suppose everyone is, to some extent. You more than most, Miss half-English woman whose name is Elizabeth. And you as well, Mr. Takes his wealth for granted. Before I can respond to this, she clears her throat. But this is getting off topic. Seriously, Yama, I need to know why you were at the train station. My guard instantly rises, even though Elizabeth doesn't seem to have any bad intentions. Just the mention of the trauma puts me on alert. Why do you need to know? Elizabeth rockets to her feet, her voice low as she glares down at me. Why? Because depending on your answer, you could be the primary suspect in the recent disappearances. A primary suspect? But how would she know? Why would I was just... Do I need to spell it out? Katsu Kobayashi. He's a policeman. The one who found you in the forest a few days back, right around the time they found a body in that same forest. A mutilated body of a student that matched the pattern of disappearances. Well, Katsu's in charge of Soji Hasegawa's case at the train station, and what does he hear from his primary witness? That you were there. Of all bloody incompetent people, you somehow possess the intelligence and initiative to flawlessly kidnap and murder 4 to 6 people. I can't tell whether she's insulting me or fighting for my innocence. Not that it matters when she knows so much. How do you... She throws her hands up in the air. Fine, my father's the bloody superintendent of the bloody Isamu Police Department, and Katsu is a family friend. Now, will you tell me? I'm stricken speechless by this barrage of revelations. Elizabeth. Fucking gnat. Elizabeth is the daughter of the police superintendent. Come to think of it, maybe she has superior knowledge of dressing wounds because her dad is the police superintendent. Pieces start falling into place. Elizabeth's atypical outlook on the killings, her systematic behavior during school investigations, how she knew how to handle a gun, even just in laser tag. Something makes sense about her. If you're wondering, no, my father doesn't blab about confidential information. I learned as part of an investigation process that involved Katsu interviewing me. What? I wasn't even thinking about that. Then why are you wasting time? Just tell me what you were doing at the station. Napping? I told you, I was just helping Rui. Those are the words I want to say, but I can't. What was I doing? At the train station, I might have just fainted, but when I'm sleeping, when I'm lapsing, I have no clue what I'm doing. Elizabeth's frown flattens into neutral curiosity. Yama? I don't know. It's impossible to tell what's going on. Everything happened so quickly. The deaths, being drafted as an assistant assassin, then being fired, more deaths, fights, all over the space of what, 9 days since school started? You're just being ridiculous. You either did something or you didn't. Look, just say that you couldn't have had anything to do with Soji's death. What if I did? Then say that you did it. Is it really that hard? Hard to admit that you could be a serial killer without even knowing? Yeah, I'd say that's pretty hard. Then again, she's just thinking that I'm joking. And what if I don't know? Her expression quiets as she seems to understand. You're not seriously entertaining this idea, are you? For God's sake, Yama! You, a murderer? That's a load of rubbish. You can't know that for sure. Oh, yes, I can. Look, it's bloody impossible. Clearly, you're not the actual killer, or you wouldn't be acting this way. Therefore, there's no reason that you would have anything to do with these killings. Stars above, for a rational person, you sure do an awful little thinking. Ironically enough, the bite in her tone is comforting. She sounds so confident, like I could never be guilty, like I would never be able to hurt someone. But she doesn't know about my lapses. She doesn't know that I could potentially be a completely different person. Look, you're many things, Yama, but a murderer is not one of them. Oops, I clicked off again. You've got to believe that. If you don't, no one will. What if no one already does? Then you've got to show them. Show them who you are. Show them what you can do. They'll doubt you. They'll fight you. Maybe your friends will leave you. But you've got to fight back. I have no doubt that any other person, her speech would be amazingly inspirational. To any other person, life changes would be made, and worldviews would be altered. But fighting back, involving people, doing something, that's what I've been doing for this past week. Uncovering, investigating, taking initiative, and, well, we saw how that turned out. Still, I have to admit that she stirs hope, even in someone like me. Her words make me want to leap out, to raise my fists, to fight back. I just don't know if it'll make things better or worse. Thanks, Elizabeth. She falters, her eyes widening. What? Whoops, that wasn't Elizabeth. It was Yama. My bad. That's the first time you didn't call me Lizzie. Would you prefer that? Not particularly. It simply feels odd. Her eyes drift across mine, slowly, contemplatively. Well, done with your pity party? As close as I can get to done, I suppose, Miss Bennet. Fair enough, Mr. Darcy. After all, I know how you enjoy your parties. Ah, yes. You can tell by my acute desire to eat, drink, and dance the night away. Why, the night is scarcely young. Wait, it's midnight? She leaps away, pointing to my clock in clear horror. Oh, looks like it. Good God, I have to get going now. She hurriedly shoves the medicine back into the cabinet and scrambles to the doorway. I instinctively grab her sleeve. Wait, what's the... Let go. Now. She doesn't look like she's going, so I quickly release her. Something dawns on me. Oh, academy curfew? What? No, I have a permit because of my father's job. Does this curfew even exist, or does everyone just ignore it? Then what is it? Homework? Sleep schedule? No, nothing like that. Shouldn't it be obvious? A girl in a boy's home at a late hour? What? Just that? It's nothing to worry about. I've had plenty of girls over. Rui was one of them. Heck, she even knows the key code to my door. But Elizabeth doesn't seem to take this as comforting. In fact, she turns white as a sheet. Plenty of girls? It's fine. People don't care around here. I care. Do you know what this could do to my reputation? She paces agitatedly, wringing her hands. Her worry is stressing me out. Look, like I said, it's not a big deal. Guys have girls over all the time, and girls have guys over all the time. She stops in her tracks and stares at me. I click. Oh, as friends? Well, what else would they be doing? You're asking because you don't know? That is generally why people ask questions, yes. And according to you, girls come over and guys come over and they just study or play games or eat dinner or whatnot? That's exactly... Wait, what were you thinking? My God, I can't believe we're having this conversation. She covers her face and rearranges her jacket, quickly opening the door. I'm just going to go. Now. I'm left flabbergasted as she slams the door in my face. Can't even get in a word. Well, that was abrupt. I swear I'll never know what's going on in that head of hers. Yeah. It probably doesn't mean anything to you, Yama, but I believe in you. Before I can make a move, she promptly shuts the door again. This time I hear the rapid plink of her shoes against the apartment hallway as she strides out of the complex. She believes in me. Of all people, Elizabeth Oshiro believes in me. Well, that's just like the irony of life, I suppose, and I can't deny that it's reassuring in the most bizarre way. She's more confident than I am in my own innocence. Feels nice to have someone like that on your side. A fighter, a warrior, someone who will tell the truth to your face, even if you don't want them to. I can trust her, weirdly enough. And I'm going to end it here because I'm all out of time. So I think in the next one, I might try to just power through it and see if we can get to the end of it. My understanding is we're close. There's like 2 more major events that have to happen before the end. I feel like we're close. But at the same time, Steam says the game can be up to 10 hours long. So I don't know where I am. But judging from the Soji incident, I should have like 2 major incidences left. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. Until next time, I'm logging off now. And remember to do something nice for a stranger today. You may just save a life. Bye!